Tony from Croaky here, and I'm talking to Carl Wiens, who's just been at a Planet Talk session at WOME Adelaide, and you've been talking really about fixing things. Can you talk about the origins of your story, which involves a screwdriver and some of the biggest corporations on the planet?
Yeah, I've been trying to fix things for a long time. I started out trying to fix my laptop, and it turned out that Apple didn't want people to have repair information for the laptop. So I muddled my way through, figured out how to fix it. And ever since then, I've been writing repair guides and sharing them online. And we have this idea that if we make it easy for people to fix things, then lots more people will.
And you're doing this organisationally, so can you just say what your group is and where people can find you?
Yeah, so we're iFixit.com, ifixit.com, and we're a community of people all around the world that are learning how to repair things. So if you know how to fix something, maybe you could share it, and maybe if I know how to fix something that you don't, I share it online, and over time we're systematically teaching each other how to fix all the things in the world.
Tell us the case why we need to fix iPhones.
It actually takes over 500 pounds of raw material to make an iPhone. It's a huge amount of raw material, and we're actually not very good at recycling them. We can only get about 12 out of 50 of the different elements that are in a phone back in recycling. And so while scientists are working on making that better, in the meantime, what we need to do is extend the life of these products as long as possible. So use the phone for as long as you possibly can, and then rather than chucking it in a drawer where it's not going to be used, sell it to somebody else who will use the device.
It was really interesting you talking about recyclability ability in terms of the iPad, which I gather is your least favourite of all the devices. What's the issue around that? And you talked about airbags. Can you just run through those in terms of this how we measure recyclability?
When you talk about how easy or hard it is to recycle something, I like that. My definition of recyclability is if the raw material value in it is greater than the effort and time and cost involved in recycling it. With a desktop computer, there's actually $5 or so worth of raw material in that computer, and you can take it apart very quickly, get the materials out. So it's actually very profitable to recycle desktop computers. When you get to smaller devices, there's a lot less material value. So in an iPad, there's maybe 25 to 50 cents of raw material value, but it actually costs several dollars of labor to pull an iPad apart because there's a battery glued to it, and it's very, very challenging to separate that battery from the rest of the device safely to go all the way through the recycling process. So the iPad is actually what I would call unrecyclable. It's economically unrecyclable because it's just too expensive to separate the battery from everything else to recycle it properly.
Now, so one thing you went through, I think we can talk on 3 levels, what governments, corporations and consumers can do. Can we start with governments? Because you said there's some very interesting right to repair legislation happening. Can you just describe that?
One of the things that we found is that the manufacturers just aren't sharing the repair information that people need. They actually have them. Every company who builds a product builds a repair manual for it, but they're not sharing it. And so there's a number of governments that are considering right to repair laws where they would require manufacturers to share information and sell parts. So if you have a product that's broken and you can't fix it because you can't get the part, these regulations would require them to sell parts.
How hard was that to get governments to do that?
Well, no government has done it yet, so it's very challenging. We're hoping that we're going to get it done. We have a whole bunch of folks that are considering legislation, but it hasn't passed yet. So we need to get governments to step up and regulate these companies and say, if you're going to sell an expensive technical product, you have to make a repair option available.
Now, you talked about companies that they have this, it's basically planned obsolescence, which is what everybody sort of assumes, but we all go along with. You're saying to put the pressure on, and there actually are some good examples though.
There's some companies that are not doing a very good job. Apple makes products with integrated batteries. They don't sell replacement batteries to anybody, so that's a real problem. On the other hand, there's companies that are doing a great job. Patagonia is a clothing company. They make parts available for all their products, and they actually provide free repair services, so they're killing it. And Fairphone is actually doing a tremendous job. So Fairphone is this little tiny cell phone startup out of the Netherlands, and their mission is to make a sustainable phone. So they create repair parts for their phones, they design them to be easy to repair, and then they actually include the repair procedure on the phone, so everybody who has a Fairphone knows how to fix it.
You said then, as consumers, what we should do is not have them in our drawers and cupboards, but actually get old things out and sell them, make them be back in use again. But what else can consumers do? And a lot of it is about just not consuming, isn't it?
There's a lot of embodied energy in the products that we buy. So if we're going to get all that effort of manufacturing something, let's use it for as long as possible, fix it when you need to, and at end of life, take care of it responsibly. But I think at the core, it's just like, how many things do we need? The average household has 28 consumer electronic devices. Maybe that's enough. So at some point we have to say, I'm going to buy fewer things, I'm going to buy better things that I have, but really limit the amount of total stuff that we have. And I think, you know, there's this old adage, he who dies with the most stuff wins. I don't think that's really true. If you look at studies, people that have fewer objects tend to be happier.
I did not know that adage. Tell me, you're not just in Australia for WOMAD Lab?
I'm here in Australia. I've been speaking all over the place. I've spoken in Sydney and Melbourne and finally here at WOMAD Lab. It's just been phenomenal to see the community. There are repair cafes and fix-it clinics in just about every town in Australia. So if you're interested in getting started but you don't know where, find a local fix-it clinic or repair cafe, show up, bring a broken thing, and have fun learning how stuff works.
Fantastic. Thank you, Carl. Great to talk to you.
Thanks for having me.